What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video we are at Oklahoma City Will Rogers World Airport for the third airport update for the month of January 2022. This is a jam-packed Oklahoma City Will Rogers World Airport update, so I hope you guys are excited for this week's airport update, as we've got not one, but two aircraft specials, and we also have a couple of interesting visitors. One of them very unique that I've never ever featured on the channel, and I don't even have an aircraft for it, but it was so unique I just could not resist putting this in this airport update. So as you can see, we are starting over at the American Airlines section of the airport. Quite a bit of American mainline here, the A319, A320, and A321, and you can also see the difference in the colors that Gemini Jets has chosen for each of the American A320 family aircraft that they've released. The A319 released about 2015, A320 in 2020, and then the A321 in about 2018. So we'll work our way over to gate number 2, which is the aircraft there towards the top of the screen, and then we'll make our way around the airport. At gate number 2, we have this American Airlines Airbus A319. This aircraft arrived in from Dallas-Fort Worth as flight 2734 at 11:26 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 11:46 p.m. arrival. This aircraft was actually an IAE A319, which we do not have yet in 1400, so Gemini Jets, please do that. That's another aircraft that I will add to the 1400 wish list for 2022, so hopefully we get that sometime in the near future. Obviously the Delta connection Embraer 175 is another big thing, and you'll kind of see why once again here in just a minute. So that's all I got for this aircraft. We'll move on to 4. At gate number 4, we have this American Airbus A320. This aircraft arrived in as flight 2434 from Dallas-Fort Worth. This is the afternoon flight, arrives close to 2 o'clock, but arrived at 1:37 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 1:53 p.m. arrival, and this is very accurate as they used an IAE A320 rather than a CFM A320 here on this flight from Dallas. Here's another look here at the American mainline lineup here on the west side of the Oklahoma City Airport Terminal. But finally, to round out the American mainline here at gate number 6, we have this American Airbus A321. This aircraft arrived in from, once again, Dallas-Fort Worth. This is the about 3:30 p.m.-ish flight, so they get quite a few Dallas flights. I think it's like anywhere between 4 to 6 times daily, if I had to guess. But it's at least 3, since I am representing 3 aircraft here from Dallas-Fort Worth in this airport update. All flights that you see in this airport update are from Friday, January 21st, with the exception of one flight that I decided to include. But this aircraft here arrived in from Dallas-Fort Worth, flight 1146 at 3:35 p.m., a little bit behind a 3:28 p.m. scheduled arrival for this aircraft. And again, keeping the accuracy trend alive for the American mainline, this is a CFM A321 that was used on this flight. Once again, keeping the accuracy trend alive, here at gate number 8, we have this American Eagle CRJ-900 operated by PSA Airlines. This aircraft arrived in on flight from Charlotte as flight 5402 at 12:38 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 1:14 p.m. arrival, so way ahead of schedule for this aircraft. At gate number 10, we have this Allegiant Airbus A320 with Sharklets. This aircraft arrived in on a flight from Orlando Sanford as flight 2325 at 3:45 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 3:53 p.m. arrival. Now I did see, I believe it was the RM Model Store that did announce a pair of Allegiant Panda Model exclusives, so I may end up having to pick those up, as I do want some more accurate Allegiant aircraft, as the ones that Gemini did have slightly oversized engines, as you can probably see, about the size of a Neo when it really shouldn't be the case. So I may or may not pick those up at some point, and I am aware of the whole 737 MAX situation, since Allegiant did order some of those. So that'll be kind of exciting to see if Sioux Falls does get them, and if some other cities also get them as well. Obviously, they'll have to base them out of somewhere. Where exactly, I don't know, as I don't think anything has been announced yet on where they're going to send these aircraft. So it's kind of a whole TBA situation for the moment, so we'll have to see how that unfolds. So that'd be kind of cool to see what that looks like. Had to move one of the jet bridges out of the way for a better view of this aircraft, but here at gate 11 we have a United Express CRJ-200. Now I haven't used the United CRJ-550 in a while, and it seems like that those aircraft have moved over to Newark and Washington Dulles. I think a few are still left in Chicago, but a majority of the CRJ-550 fleet has gone over to the East Coast. So unfortunately, we have not gotten any CRJ-550s here at Sioux Falls. Oklahoma City hasn't really seen them in a little while either, but they still get CRJ-700s that sometimes have the new livery, other times still stuck with the Continental Globe. But here we have this United Express CRJ 200 with the Evo Blue livery arriving in on a flight from Denver as flight 4668 at 5:18 p.m. delayed from a 4:28 p.m. scheduled arrival, a 50-minute delay for this aircraft. At gate number 12, we have this Frontier Airbus A320neo. This aircraft arrived on a flight from Las Vegas as flight 1990 at 1:07 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 1:14 p.m. arrival. And I'll pop on the screen below a thing of text that'll indicate which aircraft was operated on this flight, as I do not remember it off the top of my head at this moment. So there's that, and we'll move on over to the Southwest section, and that is where you're going to find two incredible special liveries. And this is a first here for airport updates here on the JJ Skippy channel, as I've got Freedom 1 featured in 2 consecutive updates, as I featured it in last week's random model airport video for Sacramento International Airport. That was really cool to see on the schedule. I originally had the flight set for Thursday, January 20th, but when I found out that Freedom 1 flew to Oklahoma City on Friday, January 21st, I figured I would switch over the schedule from Thursday to Friday, and it also worked out because, if you can also see up there towards the top of the screen, we also have Florida 1, and that'll be the subject for our next aircraft in the update. I'm going to have to flip over to the other side because you can see the tail of another Southwest aircraft is kind of blocking that special livery, and we really want to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time on the channel, I am accurately representing Florida 1 in an airport update. So here it is at gate number 14, arriving on a flight from Austin, Texas, flight 1251 at 4:06 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 4:30 p.m. arrival. So if I do have any Oklahoma City spotters and viewers watching this, if you did see Florida 1, that'd be kind of awesome to see your pictures. So if you have anything that you could send it to me, that would be appreciated. So yeah, Florida 1 here at Oklahoma City, kind of a nice treat, and we got one more that we'll see here, as I did mention previously. We do have Freedom 1, so we got one more Southwest aircraft to look at before we can hop into Freedom 1. At gate 16, we have the Southwest 737-700 with a Heart livery and split scimitars. This aircraft arrived in on a flight from Phoenix Sky Harbor's flight 1323 at 10:25 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 10:35 p.m. arrival. Another great look at the Southwest lineup that we got going on here at Oklahoma City, with Florida 1 up at the top, a Heart livery 700 with splits in the middle, and then we have Freedom 1 down here at the bottom right. So there it is there at gate 18. We're going to slowly zoom in on that. This aircraft arrived in on a flight from Denver, flight 1531 at 4:17 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 4:05 p.m. arrival. So that must have been a nice treat for any Oklahoma City spotters that were actually out there doing some plane spotting, if there were any. If not, then that's kind of an oof because, well, I don't know why you wouldn't go out spotting when there's 2 Southwest special liveries arriving within 15 minutes of each other. These arrived about 11 minutes apart, so that's kind of cool. Florida 1 first at 4:06, and then Freedom 1 at 4:17, and then parking almost next to each other. Now, if the Heart 700 wasn't in the way, that would be even better. But obviously, this aircraft arrived much later at about 10:30 p.m. that night, so that wouldn't have been on the ground. But realistically, I could say that Freedom 1 and Florida 1 were on the ground at the same time at Oklahoma City, so that's a really unique treat for this airport update. Got 3 more aircraft here at the terminal, and we got 4 more taxiing around. Quite a jam-packed update, like I said, so we'll move over to the Delta section of the update. At gate 26, we have this Delta Airbus A320 arriving on a flight from Atlanta as flight 2402 at 11:06 a.m. ahead of a scheduled 11:09 a.m. arrival. Next to him, at gate 28, we have this Delta Connection Embraer 175 being substituted for an Embraer 170. Again, Gemini Jets, I would appreciate it if you guys did this in the February releases. If you are planning on doing a February set, we all know it's coming though soon because of the January Gemini Jets, from what I'm hearing from a couple places. Sounds like they'll be arriving within the next week or 2, so hopefully I'll have the American Eagle Embraer 175 in my hands by February. So the February Oklahoma City airport update and all the subsequent airport updates that will require me to have an American Eagle Embraer 175 in my possession should be all featured in there once I do have it. So this aircraft arrived in on a flight from Salt Lake City, this Delta Connection Embraer 175 being substituted for an Embraer 170 at 12:44 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 12:54 p.m. arrival. And then at gate 30, we have this Delta Connection CRJ 900 arriving on a flight from Minneapolis, St. Paul, flight 3791 at 6:40 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 7:09 p.m. arrival. So nice to see that Oklahoma City is still getting some Minneapolis service, even if it is just on the RJ9. That's all the aircraft we have here at the terminal. We're going to go ahead and make our way around the airport as we got several unique aircraft to take a look at. So with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Well, there's another look at the Southwest lineup because I just can't stop showing that. Maybe I'll make that as a thumbnail. How about that? Okay, so I'm sure you guys have a couple of questions as to why my profile picture is just blocking out a majority of this frame. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the profile picture right about now. And here it is. So Oklahoma City actually got a very unique aircraft on Thursday, January 20th, an Air Serbia Airbus A319, and I am substituting that for my British Airways Airbus A319, which I've had for quite a few years at this point. I've never featured it in any of my airport updates, so if you want a more detailed review on this aircraft, let me know. I may bring back the retro review series at some point, so if that would be a great idea for me to do, then let me know. But this aircraft arrived in on a flight from New York John F. Kennedy International, flight 4020, at 10:24 a.m. on Thursday, a bit delayed from a 9:14 a.m. scheduled arrival on Thursday, so 50-minute delay or so. Actually, no, I'm reading that wrong. That's about an hour and 10 minutes, so it was about 20 minutes off. So from the looks of it, it looks like this aircraft was on its way over to the desert in somewhere like Arizona, I think, like Maranza, I think is where it flew to. I'll pop up the full route that this aircraft took, just so you guys can kind of understand the whole route that this aircraft took on its way over to the United States. So my thinking is that this is going to go into storage. It could be picked up by another airline maybe, so maybe like United or somebody like that would take this aircraft and perhaps put it into their fleet. So we'll have to see. I mean, United's not shy from that idea because they have taken a couple China Southern A319s and have repainted them into United colors. So if that's the case, then that'd be great. Otherwise, if this aircraft is being dismantled, that's a little bit disappointing, and that's kind of the final time that that aircraft is going to be seen anywhere. So yeah, just kind of making its way over to the ramp. I would assume it would be refueled, and then eventually it'll make its way over to somewhere in Arizona for its final resting place, pending it's not going to be picked up by another airline. Taxiing into the ramp, we have this United 737-800 with the Continental Globe livery. This aircraft arrived in on a flight from Waco, Texas. It's flight 2511 at 6:03 p.m., delayed from a 4:45 p.m. scheduled arrival, so that's quite a significant delay for this flight. My thinking is that this is either a military charter or perhaps a college basketball charter, as I've seen quite a few of those at like nearby Stillwater, Oklahoma. That's a small airport that is, I don't know how long it is away from Oklahoma City, but it is quite a ways away. It's a very small airport that only gets once daily or twice daily, depending on the day, American Eagle Embraer ERJ 145 service. So I may end up revisiting that airport just because I already did that as the first random model airport back when I used to call that series the Model Airports of the Month. I then changed it to Random Model Airports midway through editing, and then officially made it the title once I got around to doing the second installment. So if you do want to go back and rewatch that video, then I guess you can. Only downside is that I still didn't have the new livery ERJ 145 at the time. I had the old livery one, so that's not really accurately represented, even though I think they may have still had like a couple at that point in time, but it was very, very like isolated in terms of how many times you were going to see that. So yeah, aircraft making its way into the ramp. I don't think it parked at any of the gates. I just have it put in here because I don't really have much space elsewhere because I got two freighter aircraft that are also taxiing. I don't want to look like it's going to be like a traffic jam on the taxiway. Now we're staring down at this UPS Airbus A300. This aircraft arrived on a flight from Louisville as flight 734 at 6:03 a.m., delayed from a 5:37 a.m. scheduled arrival for this aircraft. Last but not least, we have this FedEx Airbus A300. This aircraft arrived in on a flight from Memphis as flight 1472 at 6:44 a.m., delayed from a 6:04 a.m. scheduled arrival. And that is it for this update here at Oklahoma City. So again, kind of jam-packed here with a lot of American mainline, that United Continental Globe charter from Waco, Texas, and then we have that Air Serbia A319. So if there was a model of that I had just by, sheer luck, then that would have been even better. But otherwise, that British Airways A319 was going to be my best bet if I wanted to represent that in this airport update. So yeah, just kind of on the grind here for model airports once again. Glad to be back in this rhythm here. We'll have Des Moines returning next month in February. Hopefully I don't get sick again. That would be really bad, but I don't think I will. So we'll have that coming back then in February, and then obviously Joe Foss, and then perhaps some other content that I may end up throwing out as well. Obviously the other given will be the American Eagle Embraer 175 unboxing, pending on whenever that arrives. So I'm just going to have to monitor that. So that being said, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.